Hi, it is Friday. It is the 14th day of August. We are just about midway through this month already, ladies and gentlemen. Fall will be knocking on our door very, very soon. Some more fall like weather kind of already here for the weekend with some lower temperatures and some hanging around showers for the rest of this evening, throughout much of your Saturday into your Sunday a little as well. I'll outline that for you. Take a look at what's happening and what's expected weather-wise in just a few moments. I've learned that it was actually three men who are facing charges instead of just two for burglarizing the Harold Whitaker Middle School. I have an update on that report. And we have major news coming from the governor, not just in lieu of daily COVID-19 information, but also the plan that he, as well as our Secretary of State, have devised for the upcoming November general election. How are we going to handle that? How is the nation going to handle that? The post office is also weighing in on that, and it has become a bit of a political conversation as well in regards to absentee ballots, as most of you, I'm sure, are well aware. And the state of Kentucky, as we have been talking about, giving county health departments the authority to cite businesses who are not complying with COVID-19 regulations, specifically the wearing of masks, in addition to other things. And the Montgomery County Health Department has cited its first business here in Montgomery County officially today. And we'll learn more about that business, as well as the fact that it appears as though many more will be cited as well, possibly early next week. I'm also trying to gather some details on not one, but a couple of accidents just that way, the lower end of Sagersville. A little visual there for you. There was an accident, two vehicles, I believe, on the Ivy Point Hill or on 460 West. And I think a responding vehicle may have been involved in a minor accident. If I can get any information on that, I'll have it for you in just a few moments. Here's a little something for you, a little bit out of the norm. I haven't got to read Senate Bill 690. This is a West Virginia bill yet. So when I read that ATVs and side-by-sides will be able to legally drive on streets, I'm assuming that does include interstates and major thoroughfares. But nevertheless, Senate Bill 690 is official, and if you retrofit your ATV or side-by-side, you can make it street legal, and you can get it inspected, and you'll be able to take it on the roadway. That includes turn signals, a horn, tail lights, some other specifications as well. It has to be insured just as your vehicle would. It also has to be registered with the Division of Motor Vehicles in West Virginia just as your vehicle would as well. And you have to get it inspected after all those changes to the ATV or side-by-side have been made. If it doesn't have a windshield, I think you'll have to wear eye protection in addition to your helmet. But nevertheless, making those modifications will make your ATV or side-by-side legal to drive on West Virginia streets. It was a total of three men, I have now learned with an update tonight, that burglarized the Harold Whitaker Middle School late last week. The third being jailed, still in jail on as the other two were: burglary in the second degree, criminal mischief in the second degree, and theft by unlawful taking over $10,000 for all of the damages and items that they stole or left behind from the Harold Whitaker Middle School early last Friday morning. As I told you earlier this week, two men were caught on security video rambling the halls and offices and rooms of the Harold Whitaker Middle School for 2 to 3 hours early Friday morning. They pried their way in through a back door with a screwdriver and then made their way throughout the facility, stealing everything from radios, as you see there, to archery equipment from the archery club, computers, dry erase markers. The list was long and just random, and it all totaled up at least $15,000 and counting in items stolen, and then the damage that they left behind. They left the same way they entered, but they did so with several wheeled garbage cans of all their stolen goods. An employee with the Sagersville Grade School returned to work. There you saw one stopping to shoot a few hoops the morning of Friday and found some of the items that they had left behind. And local authorities, Officer Holbrook and Officer Marshall, deputies with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, actually tracked them from the middle school through the cut-through up Sugar Camp, as there were just items literally littered and leaving a trail, all the way to ultimately finding them at a house on Combs Street. There were two men that actually entered the building, these two here. A third was found with them at the location on Combs Street and with many of the items that they had stolen. And all three face the same charges. I was unaware that there was a third individual until just earlier today. But those three are facing burglary, criminal mischief, and theft by unlawful taking charges as the school continues to tabulate just how much was taken and try to figure out just what all was stolen. Much of it recovered, not all, however. The two men believed to be seen on that video inside the Harold Whitaker Middle School are one, 29-year-old Eric Fletcher of Sagersville, again charged with burglary in the second, criminal mischief in the second, and theft by unlawful taking over $10,000. The second was one that I did not know at the time of their initial report, was the other one believed to be inside, 24-year-old Tyler Isaac of Sagersville, also facing the exact same charges for his role in the burglary. The third individual was the brother to Eric Fletcher, Elwood Fletcher, which I had reported on in the earlier report. He was found at the residence that the other two were discovered at as well after sheriff's deputies tracked them to that location. The incident remains under investigation by the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400. The fields and the stands may be empty, and big events as we know them are just gone for 2020, but there is still a real need that's out there. Magoffin County Community Day needs your support. For the past 16 years, Community Day has been instrumental in helping our local nonprofits and civic groups raise the funds for all the good things they do for our community. And this year, instead of the traditional event, the 2020 Magoffin County Community Day fundraising activities are going to continue with an online fundraiser that's open until August the 31st. Where gifts can be made online at bgcf.givingfuel.com/community day to support our 18 local nonprofits who need your help now more than ever. All the money raised will be split equally between those groups, and most importantly, for every dollar you donate, the foundation will match it with $2 up to $35 grand. That means your gift of $20 becomes $60. Or your gift of $100 becomes $300 to support those important programs and crucial services provided by our local nonprofits. So please go to bgcf.givingfuel.com/community day and donate today. Connolly Tire in Staffordsville is now a proud partner of Rough Country for all of your suspension and lift kit applications. And you can always go to ConnollyTire.net to get the latest offers. Like right now, $100 when you buy a set of Mickey Thompsons, $100 on a set of Continentals, and many, many more summer deals, including $35 computer diagnostics. That's Connolly Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. Your local COVID update in just a few moments. We have at least one new case to report. I also have an announcement about the first McGoffin County business of what appears to be several very soon being cited for not following the state mandate of facial coverings and possibly some other guidelines which have been set. However, let's go ahead and go on to the state update as of right now, where today's numbers were prefaced with an announcement from our governor and from our Secretary of State, Michael Adams, who have come to an agreement about how the November general election is going to run here in Kentucky. Among other things, it's going to start via early voting a bit earlier this year to try to make it more accessible and to try to get all of those votes in by the end of Election Day. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of political opinion as well on the Postal Service across the nation being able to handle the abundance of absentee ballots for a nationwide election this November. The United States Postal Service just this week sending out letters to all of our states and D.C. saying that it cannot guarantee that all the ballots cast by mail in the November election will get to where they're going in time to be counted. States, some of them anticipating maybe 10 times what they usually see in regards to election mail or postal service. Kentucky's plan looks to alleviate some of that pressure for the Commonwealth, at least, after the governor and Secretary of State have come to an agreement that increases or expands in-person early voting and addresses absentees. That announcement on the November 2020 election has come after weeks of some differing opinions between our Secretary of State and our governor, who both said, prefacing their remarks today, that after several weeks of talks and negotiations, they have come together on a mutual agreement about the plan for the November election, a few of the highlights of which include drop boxes being made available for you to place your absentee ballots should you vote absentee by paper. Those drop boxes were utilized in the the June primary, I should say, and were considered very productive and popular, and they will be used again. They have also expanded in-person early voting, essentially starting October the 13th, which is 3 weeks before the election. In-person voting, and this is not absentee, but in-person voting will be available at all county clerk's offices weekdays and on Saturdays for at least 4 hours. Early voting is not absentee voting. Election Day, each county will decide the sites where voters will be able to go and cast their ballot. They can reduce the number of polls should they decide to. Any of their plan to change has to be approved by the state. And every county will have at least one voting super center. This certainly applies to our larger counties like Jefferson and Fayette, where they use large facilities to have large numbers of people come in and vote, be able to get them in, get them out, and stay safely social distance. They've also modified the requirements to vote by absentee should you choose to do so. Of course, still you can based on your age, disability, or illness, but also if you believe you are at risk of catching the coronavirus or exposure to it by voting, or if you're concerned about your health, those two will be acceptable reasons to vote by absentee in the upcoming general election. And in an effort to get the election over and done with as timely as possible, with all the early voting and absentee voting they're going to have in place, the state is going to require counties to report the votes on election night, so the outcomes will be known in the normal, or at least close to the normal fashion, which sometimes still takes a few days thereafter, but not a few weeks. And I will be here on the program and in the Sagersville Independent reminding you of all of these changes to the voting process starting very, very soon, as there are some other details to pass along as well. On to today's numbers. The governor saying that now it looks as though we had perhaps as many as 10% more positive cases this week than last. Something he was hopeful would not happen, but also still something that still keeps us in a relative plateau, but also serves as a reminder that we have to keep wearing our masks.
So today we continue to see high numbers of COVID cases, certainly not as high as a couple of days ago. But it does look like by the end of this week we will have more cases that we will report than last week. While I don't believe that number will be more than 10% more, it does show that at best we are at a plateau thanks to people's wearing of facial coverings, and we still need more time to reach a decline, which will result in a decline in our positivity rate to get this state in the place that we really need to be to do so many activities that we want. Now, if we are as close at the end of the week as I think that we will be, it will be at this point compelling evidence that we have, at least for the time being, prevented that escalation and reached a new plateau, the one that is higher than we would like. So today we're confirming 679 new cases of COVID-19. We are always going back and improving the data, so after removal of duplicates, our total state case count is now 38,298. Today we have 656 Kentuckians in the hospital for COVID-19, 147 in the ICU, 97 we need to be praying for that are on a ventilator, including one of my friends in northern Kentucky.
Those numbers also translate to a 5.68 positivity rate, which is lower than the more than 6% that we peaked at some days ago, but still the governor says too high. In those 679 cases today, 77 young people under the age of 18. The governor again pleading with some Kentucky schools to not, quote, experiment with our kids, referring to some school systems going back to in-person classes in the coming days. He also announced 8 additional deaths today. Your local COVID update in a few moments right now. A pretty brief community calendar, always though, brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. A reminder tonight that Monday begins the application period for the County Agriculture Investment Program. It runs through September the 4th for the next couple of weeks, and that is the deadline. If you have any questions, call 349-6067. These applications are available for McGoffin County's CAIP to assist farmers in making important farm investments like agriculture diversification, large and small animal, farm infrastructure, fencing, and on-farm water. The list goes on. All applications are going to be scored based on those scoring criteria set by the Kentucky Agriculture Development Board. So you need to get your application in first to be considered. And you don't have to get an application or send one in to get on the community calendar. You just got to get whatever you need out there to us so I can tell everyone about it. And that's birthdays and anniversaries, too. We now have services in hand that have been made and arranged for 77-year-old Terry Turner, Terry Lee Turner of Sagersville, who passed away on yesterday's date, the husband of Alice Prater Turner. Terry was actually born in McDowell to the late Edward Ellis and Viola Jones Turner, and is survived here locally by his wife Alice and son Anthony Lee Turner and daughter Rhonda Michelle Turner and sister Rosemary Rice in Cincinnati, as well as 4 grandkids. Funeral services for Mr. Terry Turner will be held Sunday morning at 11 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial follows in the Prater Memorial Cemetery at Mash Fork. Friends can call on the funeral home for visitation Saturday evening from 6 till 9 and then anytime before services start Sunday morning. Military rights will be given by Chapter 15 of the Sagersville DAV, and in lieu of flowers, the family has requested contributions be made to the Burning Fork Community Church, where he was a member. It's hard to describe the t-shirt lines and looks in right now at the seasonal shop, but I'm going to try. 2 of them are made right here in KY, Ridge and Holler, because, you know, in Kentucky, you're always in one or the other, and both are always beautiful. Just check these designs out. The other is Yonder, and it's made in Pikeville, and it's just as cool and creative and all Kentucky. Definitely something there to appeal to everyone. And the ever-popular Turnrow brand, also at the seasonal shop for all fans of anything farming. And you can come into the shop and experience the magic of perfectly chilled drinks. For regular and slim cans, regular or even wine bottles, cups, and more. It's the Cadillac of koozies by Brewmate. All colors and styles in stock right now at Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. Oh, it's what a lot of you have been waiting for. They're back, but only for a limited time. Loaded potato wedges at your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe. That's right, our famous hand-cut homemade potato wedges smothered in cheddar cheese, real crispy bacon, topped with either sour cream or ranch, your choice. And they're still only $2.49 with tax. Get them while you can at your Sagersville Lee's. Summer heat and no AC make for a miserable drive. But don't sweat it. Call Black Smoke Performance in Sagersville for inspection, diagnostics, and repair by qualified technicians with the latest technology and equipment. Don't suffer in the summer heat. Get your air conditioning fixed today at Black Smoke Performance. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. As I've reported on a couple of different occasions, the state has given all county health departments in the Commonwealth the authority to issue citations to businesses who are not enforcing the mask mandate, either for their own employees or for customers entering the stores. And as he has been saying for days, our local public health director is now announcing his first official citation, with several more, he says, pending perhaps as soon as early next week. P. Shepard discusses that this evening, just after we discuss the most recent numbers for COVID cases here in McGoffin County, which has another one added to it tonight.
Okay, we got one new case today, and it is related to previous cases we've had. It's kind of all trickled down from one of the officers at the prison, so it's all kind of in a family type thing. So we did get a new positive today on that. Give us 52 total for altogether. We did bring 8 out of isolation today, and so we've got 33 recovered, with 18 still in isolation. So that numbers came down a little bit. We have tested 1,482, with 1,413 of those being negative, and we still have 17 pending, and that'll come back probably Monday.
So a little over 10% of the population of McGoffin County has been tested.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I know that we've talked on a couple of occasions this week about issuing some warnings to some businesses. What's the status there?
We issued our first citation today. We cited the dollar store at Bloomington for employees not wearing masks, and also for not enforcing people that's in the store not wearing masks. And that's just the first of many. We've got a lot of complaints this last week. And when we get like 3 or 4 complaints, I send somebody out, and we're just going to look in the store. And if that's happening, we're going to give you a citation. I'm tired of warning. I'm tired of telling people. They know the rules. It's been 6 months or 5 months now. You know, they know. We've sent packets out. We've told them what they're supposed to be doing and how it's supposed to be done. You know, and I know on Facebook and all that, they're going to blast me and say that we can't enforce it. Well, we can, and we can write them. They sent me the official citations, and we are going to write them. It's just not fair for the people that are obeying the rules to have to put up with some people that's not obeying the rules and could possibly cause the virus to spread more. I think it's as you see, we've got a lot more cases in the county the last couple of weeks, and this could, without us doing this, I think it could get worse. So we're going to start enforcing it.
I know that the state set aside some fines for such violations. Is this citation carry those, or is this simply an official warning?
The first citation we will issue will be a warning. The next citation will be a fine. $50. The next one $75, and then $100, and each additional fine after that can be $100. And we can do individuals that's in the store. Right now, this first citation was the store. It wasn't on an individual in the store. But if we come in the store and somebody's in there without a mask, we can cite them. We can give them a warning ticket, and then it's the same thing. It can be fined. And the thing about this is it don't go through district court or court here, it goes to the labor cabinet, and they'll be the ones that will collect this. So it kind of takes it out of the locals' hands. So you probably will have to pay the fine if you get caught.
How was this citation received at this location?
Uh, well, my environmentalist was the one that delivered it. And he said they denied the charges, but I've got even on this case, I got pictures that they sent me on. People have sent me. It's just not one person. I take this very seriously. We get numerous complaints on the business. Then we start, and we've warned them. We've told these businesses that they're going to have to do better. And like I say, last week we sent out a packet, and it had everything in it that they need to be done correctly. And if they're not going to do it now, I'm not going to warn them verbally anymore. I'm probably being a Mr. Nice Guy and trying to keep them from getting in trouble. So from now on, it's just going to be write you up, and you're going to have to answer the consequences.
So my understanding is, I think you might have alluded to it, you're probably going to have some more of these in the coming days.
Uh, I've had a complaint on one store today, 4 complaints. And on Monday, if I'm back in the office, I hope I'll be back in the office. I'm supposed to be out of the office on Monday, but by Tuesday, there'll probably be at least I'm thinking right now with the complaints we've got over this past week that I'm going to be writing at least four more citations next week. Uh, Basically, it's people letting people come in. A lot of people come into their business without a mask on, and that's the big complaint I get. And the other complaint I get is every once in a while the employees are not wearing masks, or they're wearing them below their nose. They're not wearing them correctly. And if you wear them below your nose, you might as well not wear them because you're going to get cited for not wearing your mask. So that's just the way it is. You got to wear them correctly. You got to wear them when the employees have to wear them when they're out in the public serving these people. The people that come in, if they don't have a mask, then that's the employees and the business's responsibility. And like I say, so far, I'm not going to go in and try to cite all the people that come in. I think it's the businesses that it's their responsibility. I just got back from Lexington, and like I say, every store I went to had right on the front, no mask, no service, no exceptions. That's the 3 things. No mask. If you're not wearing a mask, you don't get served, and there is no exceptions. And that's what we're going to have to do here in McGoffin County, and I plan on trying to enforce that.
All right, I'm going to wrap up this evening and this week with a little time spent on your weather, which, as you can see, has taken a wet note behind me. Light rain here over the Sagersville Independent and your News Today offices and studios. Some folks getting in on some more moderate and even heavy action. And before this weekend is over, I think we'll all see some. There you have the results of a cold front, in addition to the light showers you saw over my shoulder just a few seconds ago, which are just very light at this time in the downtown Sagersville area. You can see some yellows and some reds, and those areas are getting in on some moderate to heavy rainfall. We have a flash flood watch in effect till about 2 a.m. for the entire viewing and essentially the entire eastern Kentucky area. So flash flooding under a big heavy downpour is certainly a possibility. You live here, you've seen it, you know the areas to watch for and how much rain it takes to get there. So be wary of the conditions tonight. Keep your eye on any rainfall that you might see and your neighbor might not. But I think we'll all get in on some to some degree. 1 to 2 inches, maybe a little more than that, upwards of 3 for some folks if they really get under one of those almost stagnant downpours, which are out there. Well, we just haven't seen any here in the immediate viewing area that I'm aware of. So keep your eye on conditions, which are going to continue like this for tomorrow, but certainly be a big contrast by the first of next week as that cold front makes its way out of here. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's the nuts and bolts of your forecast tonight. Powered by Lincoln Valley RECC. 68 degrees, patchy fog, obviously, with all this moisture. 80% chance of showers. We just took a good look at that. Tomorrow, check that out. That is a below 80 day ahead of us. 79 with all the clouds and showers tomorrow. And 64 for tomorrow night's low. As for showers on your Saturday, on and off throughout the afternoon. New rainfall, 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, unless you get a thunderstorm over you. And maybe another 1/10 of an inch tomorrow night unless you have some lingering heavy downpours. I think we'll start to ease up by the time Sunday rolls around, and in fact, I think the sun actually will rise and be seen Sunday, mostly sunny, only a 20% chance of showers or storms, mostly just showers for the latter half of your weekend. 82 and 64 for your high and for your low, so an improving temperature in the forecast for Sunday after clouds and showers and 79 tomorrow. And check out Monday and Tuesday. Winners, 83, sunny, clear, no humidity to speak of. It's just going to be nice both days. Tuesday evening, yeah, we'll throw in a 20% chance of showers to cover our bases. But behind this cold front, cooler temperatures, 80, low 80s. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we might get close to 84 Thursday before another cold front arrives, and then we fall back down into the low 80s again. We've got sunshine and only slight shower chances through most all of next week, starting Tuesday evening and going through this time on Friday. That leaves me leaving you with a couple of things I want to throw in to tonight's program. It also leaves me with leaving some news on the table that I haven't had a chance to get to. Some good news that we're going to make sure we get to early next week. One report of giving and a couple of other things that are not COVID related that I've just been yearning to try to find. So we'll get to those early next week. I want to say one more time this week, and I'll be saying it probably each and every weeknight between now and the end of the month. Please take a moment and log on, go online to bgcf.givingfuel.com/community day. It's a link you can find on our social media pages, mine personally at Mortimer, the Sagersville Independent, anywhere we are electronically. And that takes you directly to the Bluegrass Community Foundation's website that they have put together to raise funds for the Magoffin County Community Day nonprofit organizations, which didn't get to participate. They need those funds desperately, but COVID changed all that, of course. And every dollar that you donate is going to be matched by $2 from the Community Foundation, up to $35,000 total. 100%, all of that money divided completely equally among all of those organizations. You have till the end of August to get those donations in, but make it as soon as you can, whatever you can afford to give. Please support these local nonprofits and organizations that support us year-round with all of their wonderful services. So please take some time, do that, and then make sure you see me back here next week for more of Your News Today. Have a good weekend, good night, and thank you for watching.